Speaking to you from Jerusalem, the capital of Israel. Today we are going to continue our discussions as to why the USA needs Israel. Why the USA, United States of America, has need of the state of Israel. The Jews of the state of Israel are liberating themselves, they're building up the country, they're doing that for their own sakes, and also according to prophecy and according to Rabbinical commentators on that prophecy, they are preparing the way for the other tribes of Israel, those 10 tribes who will also come and join them when the time is propitious, when they are ready to do so. In the meantime, the Jews are preparing the way for them. They are preparing the way for the rest of the tribes of Israel. And the first tribe who will come to be liberated is Manasseh. And in the USA we find a dominant element of Manasseh, and we understand that most of the tribe of Manasseh is now to be found in the USA, and the USA represents the tribe of Manasseh, even though numerically there may be more descendants of other tribes such as Ephraim in the USA than are of Manasseh. Manasseh is nevertheless the tribe that gives its national characteristics, its tribal characteristics to the USA. And Judah will prepare the way for the rest of Israel, including Manasseh. See Hosea 6:11, Jeremiah 33:11-14. In other words, the Jews in the state of Israel are now working on behalf of the other tribes. They're working on behalf of Manasseh, and therefore Manasseh, meaning the USA, and the other tribes should support Judah in this endeavor of theirs. The USA is Manasseh. We know this for several reasons. We have given a discussion of this in another talk of ours, which is available on the YouTube and also in articles on our website, www.britam.org. And just in a very short summary fashion, we may say that the USA is Manasseh because the early inhabitants and those who formed the characteristics of the USA came from areas in the British Isles, such as Ireland, Scotland and Western England, where we find dominant elements in ancient times settled from tribal clans that belonged to Manasseh, and therefore Manasseh was a determinant element amongst the early settlers of the USA. This also holds for those ancestors of the American citizens who came from other areas in Europe, that also in those areas too we often found dominant contributions from Manasseh. Jacob had blessed his two sons of Joseph, Ephraim and Manasseh. See Genesis chapter 48, especially verses 8 to 17. Jacob blessed the sons of Manasseh. Jacob blessed the sons of Joseph, Ephraim and Manasseh, and he blessed them in such a way that it may be understood that Manasseh would become greater after Ephraim, that Manasseh would emerge from Ephraim. We find in a sense that the USA did emerge from Great Britain and emerged from people in the British Isles. It was founded by Great Britain and then broke away, but then it continued to develop and historically grew up under the protection of the British Navy and of British investments and encouragement until it overtook Britain and merging together with it on the international scene, and it took the preeminence from it. So the USA came after Britain, but it came out of Britain in the same way as it was indicated Manasseh would do to Ephraim. And this is another reason that justifies the identification of the USA with Manasseh. The very name Manasseh in Hebrew means representative, responsibility, representative government, which is one of the fundamental principles of the national character of the USA. Also the very name America is derived from the Hebrew ha-machiri, meaning the someone who pertains to Machir. Machir was the firstborn son of Manasseh, according to the Bible. Ha-machiri is a medieval Latin pronunciation, or rather ha-machiri in medieval Latin pronunciation, how they wrote the Hebrew name Machir. Ha-machiri was America or Americo. This name was taken up by Americo Vespucci, in turn gave his name to America. So we say that indirectly the name America derives from the term Machir in Hebrew, meaning firstborn son of Manasseh. The principle of capitalism is also encompassed in this very word, in this very Hebrew word of mechir, ha-mechiri. Explanations are to be found on our website in articles on this subject. Also, we have the name Yank. Yank is a nickname for someone from America. Yank in Hebrew means Jake or Jacob. And Jacob was the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. But he's sometimes referred to as Israel or referred to as Jacob. And according to biblical exegesis, biblical commentaries on this name, on the use of this name, the term Jacob was especially associated with Manasseh. Another point we have that we have the kings of ancient Israelites, whenever they came from someone who belonged to the tribe of Manasseh, their powers were circumscribed, they were appointed for limited times, and they were set up, they're established in a presidential system of government that we still find going on today in the USA. This appears to be a tribal characteristics of Manasseh, and details and explanations of how we got to this conclusion may be found on our articles on our website that we have dedicated to the subject. We also know that Manasseh would be the first of the tribes to return, first of the 10 tribes to return after Judah. First Judah would prepare the way, then the other tribes would return as above, and other famous commentators said the 10 tribes will return to Samaria and its daughter regions. So will the scattered dispersion of Judah be gathered in from the four corners of the earth. And out of all the 10 tribes to return, Manasseh would be the first to return. The USA is Manasseh, therefore Manasseh has a stake in what Judah is doing and should help Judah much more than it is doing. Even now, at present, it is doing quite a lot.